we're capable of evolving. I start seeing a psychiatrist and a counselor. Thank God for counseling. People who immediately tell you what you need to do, run.
You know what I'm saying?
This is the Black Christian Influencers Podcast.
Welcome back to this amazing podcast. And today, it's a great day. We're going to talk about love. As you can see, I still have some trauma I'm working through, but we're going to talk about this thing. And I got my friend here, who's also the co-producer of this podcast, producer in training. She's just doing it all, guys. And she's usually behind the camera, but today she's going to be with me on this couch talking about this thing, like relationships, dating, all of this, single ladies, single men, married, date, whatever. It doesn't matter. You could be married and listen to this. This is all valuable information. But I think this is going to be a good conversation because, one thing that we all need to know how to do is be in relationship with people better.
Yep.
So, given that, let's start. Let's get right into this. Therapy. I go to therapy. Tamara, do you go to therapy?
I do. I have a counselor.
You do? Very
Yes.
good. Very good. Is therapy a deal breaker for your partner or potential dating person?
You know what? If I'm honest, and I know we spoke about this yesterday, but I feel like if the person that I'm interested in, I'm always going to ask them, who is your wolf pack? And if you don't have a
Wait,
close
you said wolf pack?
Wolf pack.
Oh,
a
okay,
close
Yeah.
group of people that, because like Hector was saying, even if you don't see a traditional therapist,
Yes.
is there somebody that, you
Who do you
could
talk
work
to?
that out with?
Who
Exactly.
pours into you?
Exactly.
Yes.
Who's in your wolf pack? Who are those core people? Because I could tell a lot about you from those people.
Yes.
And so I don't necessarily think it's a deal breaker just because of what we were sharing in the car, but I definitely think that homie has to have some accountability around it.
That's the real thing, right? Therapy is such a term that we use now to make it sound cute, but we're not talking about going and paying out all the money.
Right.
Who do you talk to?
Right.
How do you process? Who is your accountability around? That's the real question. And the people that you have. Now, nobody's judging. I think it's unfair to be like, oh, that's your friend? Nope. It has happened before. I've been there. I used to be the person that would go on someone's social media page that I dated and see who they were friends with. Now, let me tell you why that's problematic. Not a wormhole, but sometimes when you do that, people are just connected to them. Just because they are connected doesn't mean they're friends.
Yeah.
Just because Facebook says they're friends doesn't mean they're real friends.
Come on.
I had to learn that the hard way. Yeah, I stopped dating someone, and then later on they got engaged, and I was like, you had a person in common that I kind of wasn't really feeling. It's like, who?
Oh my goodness.
Are you telling me you don't even know? No, I just friend anybody who responds to me. And now you stop dating because of that. And here you are.
Lord
All right.
have mercy.
Now, accountability, right? People that you really talk to on a daily. That's important. And I think for me, it's something that how do you know who people are accountable to? Do you just ask them?
I mean,
You say, hey, accountable.
I feel like you can tell, when you meet somebody's friends, when you meet the people that they spend the most time with, you could kind of tell from, Hector picked it up with us in just a car ride, to the spot. He was just like, oh no, I like their vibe. If I'm saying things that are off, you'll check me on something. It's not really like an asking thing, but you could kind of get from their banter or their comfort around each other, oh no, those are close. Those two are close. Don't mess with them. She's kind of holding her down.
So their interactions. Now, what if, I think I know the answer to this, but what if they're not interacting with other people when they're around you? They never pick up their phone. It's always on side. I know. Right? You're already thinking red flag. But if you never meet the people that they know and are close to, How do you get around that? Is that just problematic? Like, do you really need to meet people that they know?
I would need to. I want to meet your best friends. I want to, hear you on the phone calls with your friends, like all of that stuff. Because why are you hiding that from me? Like, why wouldn't you feel comfortable?
Some people are like, oh, I'm not hiding. I'm just trying to give you all of my attention. I've heard this before. I just want all my focus to be on you right now, babe.
How long does that last?
Right. I'm like, we dating 3 months and you ain't never pick up your phone. Your phone always turned over
face
like
down.
this.
No, I'm not trying to hear that. I'm
That's
sorry.
a deal breaker. Always on silent.
Like,
And you always got to pick up your phone like this.
or you have like the privacy screen where like
privacy
it's
screen,
black
yeah.
to me, but you're the only one that can see it.
Yeah. This is things we notice,
don't
guys.
know
If you
about
think you're
that.
getting away with doing certain things, like, yeah, I'm getting this privacy screen. No, we notice that. We internalize it sometimes. Sometimes it's to our detriment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Sometimes it's really nothing, but sometimes it's something.
But then that's why you got to hit up your homegirl and be like, listen, I noticed this kind of behavior. Should I be concerned?
Wow. First of all, that's a good thing. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because hitting up the homegirl
Okay.
is good sometimes.
Sometimes.
But honestly,
They can't be all in the
most of
business.
the time, it's not. This is just me personally over the last few years. I'm like, I'm not going to tell my friends everything and everybody that I talk to because literally people don't know how to connect. They're not counselors. Most people, like you can tell me because obviously I'm good at it, but most people, they're bad at it. And they'll immediately, when you tell them certain things, they're going to be like, yeah, girl, I remember I had somebody like that. They were a mess. And next thing you know, they had me on the side of the road standing butt naked and a prostitute. What?
Jackie, I don't know how we got all the way over there.
Exactly. I'm just saying, like, they had this weird experience and now they want to make it like it's yours. And that's what's
Right.
going to happen to you
Right.
if you
If
start
you don't.
talking to this person. Yeah, my ex wore that red shirt and that's a sign.
Oh my
As soon as
gosh.
you see that, run. I've had people like that in my life. And that's why I'm like,
So then how far do you go with sharing? What would you share?
first of all, knowing who to share with. It's very few people now that I will talk to about dating. It gets slimmer and slimmer.
But then what would you tell me? Like I would tell you, oh, he's in between jobs and, what else could I tell you? His ex still be calling him all the time. And, I see her calling him, but it's not like he picks up all the time. So if I'm telling you this, what is going to be your feedback to me?
Nothing during that time. Here's the reason why.
Jackie.
Because you do not, this is why I tell you, you can't talk to everybody because everybody is not equipped to give you good feedback. People who immediately, after you tell them a few things about a person that they've never met, if they jump to a conclusion and tell you what you need to do, run.
Really?
Run. Yeah. If it takes them like 5 minutes of listening to somebody that you just met and they
just
tell
assess
you
it.
who they are, that's not somebody you want to talk to.
Wait, why? Tell me more about that.
Reason being because they don't know enough. You have to gather enough research. You gave me 3 things, right? So the person, they still talk to their ex. Okay. They could be really good friends. Maybe he's a healthy person and doesn't leave people broken. So that could potentially be a great thing that he still can have communications with somebody he used to date.
Right.
Right? Things like that, right? There are certain things that have explanations and reasons behind them. They don't always have to be the most negative thing that you think. I'm the person that will always give a benefit of a doubt.
Okay.
Literally.
So you would probably just be like, let's talk about it a little bit more. Tell me a little bit more about him.
I would let you talk about him for as long as you're dating him. If you tell me it's next time, we went out on another date, I would need to gather more information.
Got it.
I would just be there to listen the first few times. That was a good date. Okay, I'm glad, girl. What else you doing? Where you going next? I would not jump to any conclusions about anything you've shared until I felt like I had enough information. Then I'd be like, you know what, girl? For the past few weeks, I've been kind of listening to you. And from what you were saying about what he he's been doing these past few times, do you think, how do you feel about that? Like, I would never, I've told you this before. This is how I talk to people. I'm like, how do you feel about that? What do you think? I'd be low-key counseling my friends.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think? And then they'll say it. They're like, well, I kind of felt like maybe that was off. Really? Yeah. It seems like something you should probably think about more. Just that is enough.
You're
You
right.
don't have to lead people down the hallway, push them in the door and say, break up with them now. Stop talking to them now. Because what will happen is they will resent you.
Yeah.
Whether it was right or wrong, they'll resent you.
True chains. Okay, I get it.
Tell
now.
me, what do you think about that? Do you think that's accurate or no?
I know. No, I do. I think when you were first saying it, I would be like, because usually when I'm sharing something about a date or a guy, it's because I would want your perspective on it. Because I know I'm already thinking one type of way, and then getting somebody who's objective or not as emotionally invested, I would always bounce that off of you and be like, oh, well, such and such. And I noticed this, that, and the third. And if just from that information you still weren't giving me anything, I would be like, okay, so maybe I shouldn't be so worked up about it. Or I would be like, she's not giving me anything.
Like, girl,
it would
tell
be
me something.
right. It would be one or the other. But usually when I'm like in those modes and I want to know, I'll be like, Jackie, what do you think? Tell me what I should do. Am I crazy? Like, am I off for thinking that? But if I ask specifically, then that's like I'm spiraling and I need another opinion. Or if I just share
I would
it.
relate it to you. Because if you're spiraling, why are you spiraling?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what do you see that I don't? Because that'll say enough. Like, I'm telling you guys how to talk to your friends. Let them do the talking. They'll tell you exactly what they feel. They know. They already know, guys. Let them bring it out. Like, girl, because I don't know, something about him just seems off. But and then you can go in like, really? Well, what seems off?
I really feel like this happened a couple times with us at Taco Tuesday. Okay.
It's exactly. I feel like we have to learn how to be good friends. We were initially talking about relationships, but I feel like friendships are important to talk about with this because they're honestly a reflection of how you will be in a relationship.
In a relationship, a romantic relationship.
Yeah, people
definitely.
who are gaslighters in friendships will be gaslighters in relationships.
Lord have mercy.
I sometimes pity men who are with certain. I'd be like, whew,
yes,
you got to go home with that man.
Yeah.
Bless you.
And it doesn't stop. That's crazy.
But if you have good friends like you, challenge me. You're honest. Tamara's one of the best singers. And to me, she has a great eye for just things in general.
Thanks.
She's learning to trust herself more, but I just see so much, right? And so for me, I like being around people like that. They don't even know, but I'm trying to get close to you. I'm trying to talk to you more. It just
Jackie's trying to talk to
me. The thing. It builds you up, right? Being in community or connecting with certain people that will be honest is rare.
And it's also rare to find somebody who will accept the honesty. Because like you were saying before, you've lost friends over, kind of volunteering information too soon or saying things and then like them being upset.
Yes.
And so I feel like when you find somebody that you trust enough to receive from, like you kind of got to hang on to that. Like, I don't even remember how we became so close. I just feel like one day you showed up and I was just like, oh, who's this nice lady? She's cute.
You were kind of like,
and she sings soprano.
Standoffish when we first met, though.
I was like in a whole transition to even be on the praise team. And so I was just like, oh.
And that's why you can't judge people when you first meet them. Like sometimes let them warm up. You don't know. Maybe you met them on a day. They just had a car accident and they totaled the car that they've loved their whole life. One thing I've learned, though, is do not jump to conclusions and do not count people out too quickly.
Yeah.
We do that. We make harsh judgments.
Quick.
You are mean. You are nasty. You are off.
Stuck up.
Yeah.
You got attitude.
After
and I'm
2
just like,
seconds of talking,
nice
after
to meet
one
you.
look,
Right.
some people may just have a resting, I'm not gonna say the word, but a resting bee face, right? And I've met a lot of people. I really do think you might have a resting.
I do. Oh, absolutely. I absolutely have one. If I'm not smiling, you think I'm thinking the worst of you.
She looks like this.
70% of the time,
and I'd be like,
I'm thinking happy thoughts.
you, right?
No, but yeah,
no,
I have to be smiling, but
it's okay though. You don't have to be smiling. People just have to be better at like not being so butthurt over nothing.
Yeah, so not quick to offense. I feel like that's something I'm encountering a lot.
Yes.
A lot of people are quick to offense, and I find myself having to like explain a lot lately. And I was just like, well, it's worth it to keep the peace, but I need everybody to just relax for a little bit.
For a second.
Take it easy.
Do you feel like in relationships, like dating, that as women, we misjudge too quickly?
I think in relationships, for me, Tamar, I excuse things a little bit more than I should. I feel like, and that's where you come in, okay? I will be like, oh, well, maybe this isn't that bad. Or maybe I can work with this. Or maybe that's not how he meant it. Or maybe I misunderstood. And then, like, as I'm talking about it and bringing it up, people are just like, and
So
you're
you
just like,
excuse things too quickly.
I think so. So I think that in itself is a misjudgment. I'd be like, everybody's kind of innocent until proven guilty with me. And I think I need to be a little bit more decisive with what I'm doing.
I feel like we're on either polar opposites of the spectrum. Either we dismiss too quickly, or we just like make excuses too often.
accept.
Like we just accept it too quick. Like
Yeah.
it's either one or the middle ground is where we really need to be. Like,
But that's what I have to talk about it. And I have to just, kind of let things sit around in my head for a little bit. And then I'll be like, okay, no. But then once my decision is made, it's a wrap. Like it's a wrap. Once it's done, it's done. So
Period.
yeah.
I agree. I think a lot of times, for me, it's like you have to have enough red flags before something stops. Like I may see one. Okay. Okay. I'm going to let that go. We're going to keep moving. I was telling her we were driving down the road and I was making this analogy. I'm like, if I'm driving down this road and I see one sign and it says, do not enter, and it's red, right? Then I keep going down that street. It's another one that says, beware, danger ahead. It's even bigger than the next one. And then another. We sometimes keep going. And we're like, I'm going to see what happens.
Because it's a nice car. You just keep driving.
Like, I'm just going to keep staying in this thing. We'll see what happens. And then we get to that dead end and we go off the cliff. And that's when we yell, Jesus.
How did I get here, Lord?
Help me, Lord.
Oh my goodness.
That
it's
part.
just like all the signs were there, but you were comfortable in that car with them heated leather seats and nice exterior. And so you stayed in the car and you were headed in the wrong direction the whole time.
I ain't gonna lie. If it was like a Corvette, I probably would just kind of give it a little bit longer. I would wait until it's about to go off the cliff, then I'll jump off. It's certain cars that I just like, that did it for me. We're talking about cars, but like I'm also talking about like men.
Okay.
I have a thing for like
Nice
nerdy men.
Exterior men.
I don't like, you can't be like too like nice for me.
Not too pretty.
Not too pretty, not too muscular. It's like, that's too much.
Name a celebrity crush
Nah.
so I can know.
I won't do it.
I will.
You name it. Who is it?
Aldous Hodge. Call me.
What movie is he in? I can't remember.
He's in a lot of movies, but he was just in this Marvel movie.
Here she go. Is he an Avenger? Anything in Marvel? I'm like, everybody. I love them all. Yes. Say yes to
He was
them
a
all.
superhero. Okay, ready?
What's his name? What is the movie?
Black Adam.
Oh, wait. You're talking about The Rock?
No, Aldous Hodge.
The one with the thing. Look it up, guys. He's the only black guy in the
Look it up.
thing. I see. Yes, he is cute.
But call me.
Yeah. I'm open though. I think I like people who have like intelligence. If I hear you talk and you like say things that are like really smart, like I don't know. Yeah, I just was looking into the stock market and I think I've found some really great assets.
I think I'm investing in a new stock today, Jackie.
It does it. Like I'm just like, whoa. Yeah. That's the thing. But there are red flags though. And red flags are something that I feel like is like a popular term now. Everybody's talking about red flag. But everything isn't a red flag. But what is? What are red flags? What are some red flags?
What are some of my red flags?
Yeah.
I would say somebody who is not good at communicating. That is a huge red flag for me. I'm a communicator. I'm super emotional. And if I can't just communicate with you, like we're at a full stop. There's just no moving forward from there. I would say another red flag that I've found is a temper. A quick temper is something that I've had a lot of difficulty with in the past. And so I kind of avoid that. Like if you're not super chill, calm, and collected, I'd probably run.
I think so. And I think sometimes you learn your red flags by what you have experienced in your life. Like it makes you heightened to those things and you look for them more. Sometimes you look for them and they're not there. That's the scary part because you are so traumatized by what you experienced in your past. You see it in everything everybody does in the future.
Right.
Even if it's not that, you are thinking it because that trauma was deep.
Right.
So honestly, I think red flags have to be monitored by yourself. Like make sure you're assessing like, okay, is that really a flag or am I just kind of hallucinating right now?
Do you think red flags could be confused with triggers?
Yes.
Like if somebody raises their voice, that could be a trigger for me. But that doesn't necessarily mean that this person has a crazy temper, which is a red flag.
Yes.
And so I feel like a lot of times the two can kind of overlap in like a tricky way. And that's when you kind of have to be able to discern like, is this a me thing or is this a you thing? Like,
yes.
Is this something I still need to heal from and work out? Or is this an issue with you that I feel like I can't move on with you with?
Yes.
So
we have to address our triggers because if we don't, we're going to mess up relationships in the future. We're going to constantly be putting people through things that they had nothing to do with.
Right.
Like it's not your fault that I was in a horrible abusive relationship. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
But now I'm triggered by everything you do. You look the wrong way and I'm like, come on. Like honestly, I used to be triggered by army fatigue.
Really?
I couldn't wear it. I couldn't look at it.
Oh, wow.
When I saw it on somebody, I felt like anxious.
Really?
Because of what, I seen and I experienced because of my ex-husband. He would, he was a recruiter, so he would come home in army fatigue. And just seeing that, like, it triggered me.
Wow.
It took me a long time to get past it. I have clothes now and I can wear it and I can see it, but I had to really confront that. I'm like, why do I feel this way whenever I see that? What is wrong? And I had to deal with the fact like, oh, you're connecting that to that traumatic part of your life, a lot of which you have blocked out.
Yeah.
Dealing with what we block out is so important.
Yeah.
How do you deal with things? Have you dealt with anything first that you blocked out?
I have personally, but it wasn't, so it got brought back up kind of by mistake. Like, I think my mom said something. Well, it wasn't like a relationship baggage thing. It was something that I blocked out from like my dad's funeral. And when I tell you complete memory loss from it, but then my mom said something one day And it brought back all of this memory of just like, the burial site and everything.
Yeah.
And it just brought up stuff that I needed to deal with that I didn't even realize was there. I completely forgot about it. But it was kind of it was harming my relationship at the time because I had an issue with every time he would go out of town or every time he would leave. And I would be like, oh, well, I don't need to be emotionally invested because he's not coming back. Or like something like, it was just like a detachment thing where I would push them away because I was just like, oh, all the important men in my life just go.
Wow.
And so I was just like, whoa, where did that come from? My mom was just like, yeah, you said something. I don't even remember what she said, but she's like, you said something when we were on our way to the burial site. And then I completely blacked out the whole like funeral and burial part. And I was just like, that's probably what that's from. I'm just like, I don't think I'll ever see him again. So I'm like not trying to be super emotionally invested. That was wild.
Man.
But I ended up dealing with it and not necessarily having that baggage. But then, Jackie, do I still kind of have certain guards up so I don't get emotionally invested in men?
Are you asking me personally as a friend?
Yes. Like, is this?
Absolutely.
Oh, no. So.
And it's honestly not bad, though.
Yeah.
It's a part of who you are, but you have to be aware of it. I feel like if you're aware of it, like for me, I'm aware of my angles. This is my angle. This is my good side.
I think this is my
good side, right? Like, boom. You know your good side. Know your angles. Know what's triggering for you. Know where you still need to work. What areas you still have problems with. And then you can let people know. So whenever I'm in front of a camera, I'm like, hey guys, really quickly, can you get my good side? Can you just
Hector said yes.
get on this side of me? Actually, let me change. I'm going to turn around so that I could be on my good side. Like if we allow ourselves to be honest with people and let them know what we are struggling with, like this is my good side and this is my bad side.
Yeah.
Wow. Can we tell people our bad sides? But the problem is we don't want to tell people our bad sides because we haven't figured it out for ourselves yet.
Yeah.
We haven't looked in the camera long enough to know, I don't look good in that angle. I actually look better in that one. But that one, that is not my good side. Why can't we admit that to ourselves?
Man.
And then we blame the cameraman. We blame everybody else for why our angles look bad. Like, that's just not your side, sis.
Yeah.
That was not the look. It is not the cameraman's fault.
Right.
I'm sorry. Hector, like, tell him. Please tell him.
Shout out to the cameraman.
Yeah, man. Whew. That thing is deep, though.
Isn't that crazy?
A lot of us. It's really necessary for us to know ourselves.
We have to be part of that 2% that does the soul work. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Soul work is necessary. What did Hector say? I think he said 2%.
Only 2%. I want to be part of that 2% because
only 2% does the soul work. That's what the statistics say. But it's important, guys. This work is hard, but it's necessary. It's going to help you to grow.
it's beneficial.
Become a better person, and yeah, it's valuable. So, guys, I'm excited because I feel like this topic is bringing up a lot of things that we need to deal with.
Yes.
One of which is that for people in the Christian community, we oftentimes, women especially, lose a lot of potential people in our lives.
Oh, God.
Yes, I'm going to say it.
Go ahead.
We
girl.
lose potential suitors because we put them in a category of brother and friend way too soon. I get it, brother in Christ, sister in Christ, but guess what? I'm single, so you might also be my husband. You could be. But what happened is, why are we treating them like they're our blood brother? There's a difference. So I think we need to stop using the word brother and sister in Christ until we can differentiate between what that means to be a blood brother and to be a brother in Christ. Because we be mixing the two up.
I kind of feel
tomorrow.
like Jackie's coming for me right now. I feel attacked. But I mean, like I actually just discovered with you earlier, this is something that I did as a comfort zone. Like, it's more comfortable for me to be like, oh, that's the bro, instead of saying, oh, he is actually handsome and that's a possible suitor, because that means the possible suitor will possibly reject me
Yeah.
as a viable option for him. And who wants to be like exposed like that every time? It's just super easy for me to be like, oh, I'm comfortable for you. I'm comfortable with you as a friend. Like, you can just be my homie, because nobody's going to turn down a fun friend who could cook and, you know, is
Just
a
as
good
a total
time.
package.
You know what I mean? But if I'm just like, oh, I want to be more than friends, they're just like, and then I have to face the, well, you're good, but you're not good enough to date. Or you're not pretty enough to date, or, you know.
So we're covering up
Yeah.
for rejection that could potentially happen. So
I
the brother
definitely do.
brother sister is really just our way of padding the rejection that could happen. But are we also hindering the acceptance that could be possible
Yes.
if we did not put that defense up? We're too scared of rejection.
Because it's just so often.
So what is it going to do to you? This is my thing. I've gotten rejected a lot in many different areas of my life. And honestly, we sometimes begin to take rejection too personal. We have to be more like confident in ourselves to realize, like, I am that chick
girl.
in
I hear
every
you.
area. So you rejecting me is your personal preference.
Right.
Good for you. I'm going to be okay though. Like, we treat rejection like it's this big Rockweiler when it's really this little chihuahua. Like, you ain't going to do it. I'm going to kick you. Move on.
Yeah.
It's not that serious. It's not going to kill you. Rejection will not kill you. Somebody needs to hear that. Like, what is it going to do? What is the worst that could happen? And I tell this to my daughter, and I tell this to people that I talk to all the time. What is the worst possible outcome from you putting yourself out there? They can say no.
Yeah.
Ouch.
But then it causes, so for me, I think it just makes me compare a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And so
that's good.
if I'm talking to the bro and he's just like, oh, I like such and such girl, I will automatically compare myself to that person. And
That's good.
if I am just like, hey, I'm interested in this person romantically, and they're like, oh no, I don't choose you, I choose so-and-so, I automatically go into comparison. And then, you know, comparison kills, and that whole rabbit hole. So I try to avoid that as much as possible.
Yes.
But I just feel like it safeguards me to just not even put myself in that position to go there, because it's just like, I don't feel like dealing with that anymore.
You're right, though. Honestly, comparison, it troubles us all. Social media has now amplified every one of our worst abilities when it comes to that area. Before, we didn't have to deal with comparison as much, right? We walk out the house and we see our neighbor's new car. We see a bigger house as we're driving by. We pass it and move on. Now, it is in front of our face.
Man, listen.
All day. And you're just watching it. You're just taking it in all day. And now it is affecting you in ways that are deeper than it could have with you passing by. It's
in
hard.
your face. It's that other person is in your face. Those other options are in your face. And you are just like seeing all of this. You're seeing the preferred body types. You're seeing the preferred skin tones, the preferred hair textures. And you're looking at this and it's just like, well, I don't look like that. So that's going to be my bro. Because I'm not going to do the stuff to get myself to look a certain way. It's just like, I'm not going that far. I'm just not doing it. But
Have you ever, I'm trying to decide. Should I say this?
What?
Have you ever like looked at an ex and compared their new chick to you to be like, man, that is not it. Like this is I'm way better than that. Like comparison can be dangerous in a lot of different ways. You can make yourself feel like, oh, I'm not as good, or you can make yourself feel like I'm better than.
Yes.
And you don't know that chick.
I don't.
You don't know what she is capable of, what her personalities, nothing about her. But we make ourselves feel better or worse by comparison. And feeling better by comparing yourself is honestly just as bad as making yourself feel bad about comparing.
Yep.
Because when you look at somebody and you're comparing and you're feeling better because you think they're better, you're better than them just by looking, that's delusional.
Well, one of them kind of had my name too. She not only kind of looked like me, but her name was Tam. And I was just like...
He's like, oh, nah.
Am I being punked? Like, where are the cameras? Because how, Sway? How do you expect me not to compare myself to that?
Somebody just like you. I know you think in your head, like, see, he really...
I was just like, he's still... Right. He's still kind of crushing on your girl.
He won't me.
But, I mean...
That thing.
Yeah, I can't... The comparison thing just... It will really make me just sit and think and overthink, and it's nothing productive. And so,
how much time have we really wasted with comparing?
Girl,
I just really, you know how sometimes you can get on the app and see how long you've been on social media? I feel like there should be another like stat that says how often or how much time wasted on comparison. I'm pretty sure those numbers would be high. Just as high as the screen time.
Why can't they do that? If they can count our steps and our heart rates and stuff, why they can't do like a comparison calculator, Apple?
Some of us would be alarmed and it would make us change our ways.
And then it'd give you like electric shock if you've gone too long.
Like the little barcode.
Yes. It'll buzz you like if you're comparing. That's what I need in my life. But
that's good. We need to invent that. Don't nobody take that yet. Like,
right. Forget that, Apple. Forget I said that.
We are patenting. That's today. We're putting it down. So that's really good, though. That's good. Comparing is detrimental.
Wait. So since you put me on blast, what ways do you think you kind of try to safeguard yourself from rejection, or are you at a place where you're just like, come what may, hallelujah?
Oh yeah, I'm above all of this.
Oh,
I lie.
Okay,
I think for me, I take myself completely out of the game.
Really?
Yes, I make myself busy, and I just allow for myself to not think about it. I will run myself ragged, especially if it's something I really want. The way that I deal with it is by not dealing with it. And the more I'm able to make myself busy, the less time I have to think about it. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know.
Miss Jackie.
Y'all getting this podcast out of the thing, so.
Right.
No, I'm just saying, like, God uses it for your good, but I know at some point it's something I got to deal with.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to stop and be like, all right, Jackie, let's sit with this, you know? You know? And it's good. I know that for a fact, but I think it's also some relevance and honestly some biblical stability to us keeping busy, right? Because we know idle minds, right? That's all a part of it. And then also when you don't keep yourself busy, I think we're not doing what God has called us to do in our singleness.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
This is the time where he like, get this stuff done. Honestly, I do understand. I told God like a few nights ago, I understand why you're keeping me single. Because if I was married, it would be all about him. Y'all wouldn't even see Jackie the educator.
That's true.
I'd be like, what happened to that chick that did BCI? Like if I didn't build this thing up enough to where it can be like sustained and like just firm in foundation. If my husband came and it wasn't stable, I would be like, oh, baby, what you need?
Right.
Let me get your dinner. You know, because we naturally, a lot of us want to cater and we want to be wives. I was raised by a great mother who was a great wife. and she catered to my dad. And I know that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I can't have that right now.
Yeah.
You know? And sometimes it's like, God, I got some stuff I need you to do tomorrow before I give you what you want. Because I know when I give you that present, you are going to be playing with it all the time.
Yeah.
Like on Christmas, you know, like I can't give you this. You can't. Let's everybody eat breakfast first.
Right.
Before we let you open the gifts. Because I know if you don't eat breakfast, you are not going to be able to go back and eat. Mm-hmm. So some of us just eat breakfast. It's okay.
And just wait.
Just chill out. Eat. This was good. I like this episode, guys.
This was fun.
Very good topic. Thank you, Tamara, for being a part of this.
Thank you, Miss Jackie, for allowing
and thank
me.
you guys for being a part of this. Until next time.